no medicine or health workers for the last 5 years in remote Telefomin. Prime Minister stresses road safety during remainder of festive season. And local MP wants customary land sale curbed.
This is National EMTV News with Mary Bartolo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for Sunday's news. An aid post in a remote village in Telefomin has had no medical drugs and no health worker for the last 5 years. The Urapmin aid post was built in the early 60s. It brings to attention the lack of health services reaching people in remote parts of the country. Bethany Harriman reports.
Villages in Telefomin are scattered throughout some of the country's toughest terrains. In these harsh but beautiful lands lays challenges that reach the heart of the people in Telefomin, Oksapmin and Urapmin. In Urapmin, this aid post remains underdeveloped and funded. Though the district administration has made drugs available at the Telefomin station, there is a shortage of community health workers. Peter Apsi used to work here 5 years ago, but he has left to go work at another aid post in Telefomin.
Long tinting blomi na people. Mobile ko long ask member long, help him long, sample fund long, improve him, kind billing was so that kano sem just la all marasin niya. Sa stable floor. Need long putting was a long cupboard.
The semi-permanent aid post was built in the colonial era. It's decaying away, the equipment are old and the drugs are expired. Community leaders say the district administration has made funds available for drugs, but they need a new building and more funding for the operation of the aid post.
Long 1978, council got little money now pandemic little money long little cabana long timber.
The expensive cost of air freight has meant developing this aid post has been slow.
This aid post has been in operation for the last 50 years. It's located in Urapmin and it's been like this ever since it was established in the 1960s. Now behind me are the drugs. They've all but expired. When people are ill, the villagers do the best they can to help them, and if they become severely ill, they're put on stretchers and carried 12 kilometers to Telefomin for health services. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News, Telefomin.
While this Christmas has been celebrated peacefully nationwide, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has reminded people to take care when driving on the roads.
The Christmas weekend has been peaceful, with no major incidents reported around the country. Churches have been filled with people, some attended evening carols, and police have been on high alert in their operations. In Port Moresby, only one road accident happened on Christmas Eve along the Maggie Highway that saw more than 5 people sustaining minor injuries and admitted to hospital. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has welcomed reports of a peaceful Christmas celebrations, but called on people to take care while on the road. The Prime Minister says Christmas is a time of love and joy, but it can also be a time when behavior can get out of hand. He says as New Year approaches, people must think of road safety. The Prime Minister urged drivers to watch the speed and refrain from consuming alcohol. Meanwhile, police and road safety authorities will carry out random roadblocks in the city during this festive season. Quinten Alomp, National EMTV News.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill says the behavior of current and previous opposition leaders displayed is not the standard of constructive criticism needed in this country. The Prime Minister said he was disappointed with opposition leader Don Polier over a statement in the media this Christmas relating to land issues and claims of conspiracies between government agencies. Mr. O'Neill called on the opposition to make 2016 a year of mature policy debate.
In a media statement, Prime Minister O'Neill expressed his disappointment at the way the opposition was addressing issues through the media. The Prime Minister's statement comes after Mr. Polier published a statement in the media last week relating to claims of land ownership and alleged conspiracies between government agencies. PM O'Neill says the leader of the opposition must focus on policy alternatives and stop his personal attacks on members of parliament. In the context of the approaching 2017 national election, Mr. O'Neill urged Mr. Pollier to debate policies that matters to the lives of men, women and children of PNG. But opposition leader Don Pollier claims he has facts to substantiate what he's saying. On numerous occasions this year, both parties have exchanged accusations through the media. But with 4 more days left before the start of 2016, the Prime Minister urged the opposition to be mature in policy dialogue and substantiate their claims with facts. Quinten Alomp, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, the opposition has condemned the actions of a police officer who ordered a woman to chew and swallow condoms. The incident happened in a police station in Port Moresby, and the opposition has called for an investigation into the matter.
This amateur footage, recorded by the police officer, was later posted on Facebook. It went viral. The officer took the woman in for questioning and forced her to eat condoms. Despite an early reaction from Police Commissioner Gary Bucky following the video's upload to social media, the actions of the officer involved has received multiple condemnations from the public on social media and now the opposition leader Don Pollier. Mr. Pollier described the behavior of the policeman as inhuman and animalistic. Lay MP Luzaya Koza described the cop who forced the woman into the act as sadistic. Mr. Pollier has condemned the top management of the police force, calling for the suspect's identification through a formal complaint by the woman. This incident and others have done little to improve the image of the constabulary, which has been trying to improve discipline in its rank and file. Quinten Alomp, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. The Department of PM and NEC clears the air on Kumul in Bougainville and other local stories. After these short messages, stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Representatives from the Department of Prime Minister and National Executive Council, along with the Works Department, were in Bougainville to review road projects in the region. Deputy Secretary Trevor Miari contacted MTV to correct a report aired in last night's bulletin regarding suspicions by Bougainvillean locals on the government aircraft landing in Bougainville. In Kieta, the visit was to see first-hand progress on the Arawa to Kieta and Aropa Road ceiling, along with work on the Arawa Town Road. Mr. Miari said the next projects to visit are the Buluminski Highway in Kavieng and the Highlands Highway in early January. The reports on the progress of these projects will be compiled in a report for the Leaders Summit, which will take place from the 17th to the 18th of February in 2016. Autonomous Bougainville Government President Chief John Momes says the contract of Chief Secretary to the Autonomous Bougainville Government, Monovi Amani, will be decided by the Bougainville Senior Appointments Committee. Chief Momes revealed this to the ABG House of Representatives when responding to questions raised by the member for Tonsu, Ezekiel Masat. Chief Momes said the independent report will decide whether Amani will be terminated or allow him to continue as Chief Secretary. Amani was requested to go on leave awaiting the inquiry following serious allegations against him over his conduct in office. Porabada village authorities in the Kairukuhiri district are concerned about an incomplete project at the Porabada Primary School. They say the project includes maintenance of classrooms, fencing and backfilling of the school area.
School's Board of Management Deputy Chairman Jerry Taumakas says village authorities requested for assistance from the Disaster Office through the Central Provincial Government after king tides affected the area in 2013. The village authorities claimed the project was expensive, but they requested for maintenance of classrooms, fencing and backfilling of the entire school area to prevent seawater from entering the school.
Now, the actual request we did was 400,000. I am told by the provincial authorities that 780,000 was given for this project. in Parabada.
Village authorities say money was allocated for the project and contractors started work on the project in 2013. However, the project was abandoned mid this year with little work done. They say the work done does not reflect the value of the money allocated.
The fencing is not completed. We have not seen any maintenance done to the buildings in here, and we are going to be facing the same problem because now the fencing has collapsed on the western side of it.
Jerry Taumaka is concerned because by February and March next year, tides of about 60 to 70 centimeters high will be going into the school area and classes will be affected. Taumaka is calling on the central provincial government and the contractor Balavuali to address this issue.
My telephone calls to the deputy governor have never been answered. I have approached the contractors to come out here and assess the situation again. It's all failed or deaf ears. Nobody's listening, and it's left like this. And I'm not going to leave it like that. I want these changes to come about so that the teachers and the students and the community is happy.
Louisa Frank, National EMTV News.
The sale of customary land is a big concern in the Kairukuhiri district. District member Peter Isoaimo wants this issue to be a priority for the central provincial government in 2016. He says landowners are using land for short-term benefits when they should be doing something more or conserving it for future generations. Land in PNG is owned by a clan or a group of people. However, one or two people in the clan are selling land for self-gain without consulting the rest of the clan. Isoaimo encouraged the people of Kairukuhiri to go to leaders like himself or the governor to help them in developing the land through investments. He said if landowners go to leaders for assistance, all clan members will not only benefit, but the benefits are long-term. You're watching National EMTV News. Coming up next in Trukai Sports, the new Kangaroos coach Mal Meninga's move to Sydney and the latest in the Sydney to Hobart race. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The Kerapia Barracks at Bomana came alive during the long weekend as various sporting activities took place. The program was designed to keep the youth away from harmful activities through sport. Shane Saroya has more.
The youths at Kerapia Barracks in the Correctional Service headquarters at Bomana continued with their week-long sporting event, which brought youths together with games like seven starts and volleyball. The tournament organizer, Chris Tapes, said the tournament was initiated by youths in the barracks with the sole purpose of keeping them out of drinking homebrew and violence during as well as after the festive season.
Drugs and alcohol have been cut down this year. Before the competition we start early this year, youths been involved in alcohol, trouble fight, or this like but now this was a planton mama patu the community all our mass we got run this like game or bringing more the youths come kind of say weekend no come busy the game na or concentrate the game tason na no kind of passing the trouble na drink na it's like drug.
There are 11 mixed teams in the seven-stage competition without divisions. The competition is in round 8 of the season and will conclude round 10 and the finals after New Year. Corporal David Kambe Jr. also ran a soccer competition that coincided with the Kerapia Barrack Sports to get young talents to take part and showcase their skills so they can be identified by national sporting bodies and trained to become future star athletes.
And through this, especially kids from 9 to 15 years, they can be identified and groomed into especially soccer. I'm looking at putting Tarango into national soccer.
Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
To sports abroad now, and following his recent appointment as Australian Kangaroos head coach, Mal Meninga has announced his proposed move to Sydney for the first time in his career. The 55-year-old said the transfer is expected to allow him to focus on the 9 New South Wales-based clubs. He hopes to bring in the same success for New South Wales as he did for Queensland while in charge for over a decade. The change will see Meninga kept well informed with current coaching and training methods. Meninga told the Sunday Telegraph, and I quote, "If I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do it properly." Moving on, and one of the biggest races of the year for Australia, the Sydney to Hobart yacht race began yesterday. US Super Maxi Comanche took an early lead, speeding down Australia's east coast, with favourite Wild Oats 11 seeking a 9's line honour victory, trailing in second place.
More than 1,000 yachts lined up for Australia's premier blue water yacht race in the 71st year of the race. Wild Oats 11 took a brief lead at the start of the race, but Comanche quickly took advantage of the northeasterly wind to take over the lead out of Sydney's harbour. As they went down the New South Wales coast, Comanche held on to first position, followed closely by Wild Oats and Rambler in third place. Forecasts are for southerly with thunderstorms and gusts over 30 knots. Before conditions ease today, several leading sporting figures are amongst crew, including former Australian cricket captain Michael Clarke. Wild Oats owner Robert Oatley put the yacht through a 3-month refit this year, with a 10-metre section cut out of the bow and a new longer section fitted, along with modifications to the stern, hull and sails. But yachting experts say it faces a tough challenge from Comanche, regarded as one of the world's most technically advanced yachts. The leaders are expected to cross the finish line in Hobart, the capital of Australia's island state of Tasmania, on Monday. Dion Kombeng, National EMTV Sports.
And that ends Trukai Sports for today. We'll have your weather details for the next 24 hours when we come back.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
And here's your weather forecast for tonight. First of all, in the southern region, cloudy weather expected in Port Moresby, showers in Daru and Kerma, mostly fine in Alotau, and showers in Popondetta. To the Momasa region, showers expected in Lae and Wau, thundery rain in Madang, thundery showers expected in Wewak and Vanimore. To the New Guinea Islands region, showers expected in Lorengau and Kavieng, thundery showers in Kokopor, Rabaul and Kimbe, and rain and thunderstorm expected in Buka. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, showers over the next 24 hours. And before we go, recapping our top stories for tonight. Health Centre in rural Telefomin without medicine and health worker for the last 5 years. Prime Minister calls for better road safety in the lead-up to 2016, and local MP wants to stop customary land sales. And that's how we end the news on the start of the last week of 2015. Don't go away, you have another informative episode of Talk Picture coming up next. On behalf of the EMTV News team, pleasant viewing, good night.